All right, and we're live. Let's go.
Excellent. Here we are. It's Wednesday night. This is Chad here with my trusty brother and business partner, Corey.
I'm not smarter or better looking tonight.
Not tonight. That was last week, but
Oh, shucks. All right, I'll
yeah,
do better next week.
there's always next week.
It's true.
Okay. Yeah, we are here. We want to talk about the three pillars to take you from financial chaos to predictable profits. Um, we will run you through. So, without further ado, I say we just dive right in.
Let's do it.
So here's what we want to talk about. Here are the three pillars. So one, correct numbers. You got to have correct numbers. Two, you have to have a plan. And three, you have to actually work the plan. So before we kind of go, we're going to go into each one of these pillars, talk about them. But before we do that, I just wanted to say that what this is about, this isn't really about a plan or a spreadsheet or just a bunch of numbers. This is really about taking action. What these three pillars will do will help you determine the action you need to take in order to grow your business and improve and increase your profitability. So keep that in mind. We're not just talking spreadsheets. We're not just talking numbers. We're not just talking, Claude models and usage. This is about action you take in your business. So here's some of the problems that these three pillars will help solve. Obviously, I'm not going to read every word here, but it's visibility, managing your cash flow, having a plan. Think about how much confidence you'll have when you're actually operating with a plan that is helping to guide your actions, and timing, understanding when things happen in your business and what you need to do about it, what actions you can take. Again, this is all about taking actions to grow your business and improve your profitability. So let's go to pillar one. This is about having the correct numbers. So before we kind of dive in, like specifically around action for pillar one, you have to have the right data in order to make the best decisions. So, there's some people can, they manage off their bank balance, or they know what their revenue is. They don't know exactly, but they have a good idea, and it's a pretty close number. Kind of go off of like feel feelings. I always say that we don't have when numbers are involved, we don't have to have feelings about those numbers. But anyway, or they're managing to the tax return. This just kind of highlights that you got to go a little bit deeper. Like instead of revenue, what's the gross margin and what is it by job type? That's going to help you understand your business better and link results to actions and inform future actions that you can take. It's going to tell you where your cash is going. You're not going to manage off of feelings. You're going to manage off of a plan and having the numbers. And you're managing off of the real world, not the world that we think we live in or that we want to live in. You live in the real world. And when you live in the real world, you can take real actions to impact the change that you want to see on the business. So some highlights here of kind of what is involved in this pillar from a practical standpoint. So obviously you got to clean up your books. If your QuickBooks file is, a mess, that's getting that squared away, making sure everything's reconciled. It's putting some job costing in so you understand what your margins are at a job or activity level. It's having a real chart of accounts, a way to organize your business financial reporting in a way that it's easy to read and digest. And again, it's if something's hard to read, it's going to be hard to discern what's going on in order to take action. So we want to make sure it's straightforward, you understand it, the categories are meaningful to your business. That way you understand what's going on and take the right action. And then obviously a big thing is we want to make sure we know where the money's going. If it's leaking, where's it leaking? What can we do about it? So before, you're guessing, you're managing off a feeling. After you have real numbers, you are in control of your business, you are managing based on a plan, you are learning and adjusting as you go. One way is obviously better than the other, and it's with pillar one and having the right numbers. So pillar two, let's go into that. So once you have your right numbers, that's when you can move on to pillar two. We've all heard the term garbage in, garbage out. If you got garbage for numbers that are going to go into your plan, then you're going to have a garbage plan. So that's why pillar one is getting the numbers right. So pillar two, and before we dive in here, I think the key to pillar two and taking action is, think about, I've heard this saying once from somebody I worked under, and it's, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So pillar two helps define where you are going in your business. So it is the destination that you're working towards. So where am I going, and where do I want this business to be in 5 years? And there's no right or wrong answer to it. If you want to, grow your business, double it every year for 5 years, that can be your plan. If you just want to maintain the revenue that you have, but improve your profit margins, that's fine too. It's your business. You determine where you want to take it. The point of this pillar two is just, you need to have a destination that you're working toward. That will help guide your decisions, actions, what you look at, what you review from a numbers perspective. So what this covers, obviously, it's going to start with today, where you're at in your business, your current revenue, what are your current margins. It's going to establish the baseline. Then you're just going to want to look at these periods. So in the near term, what are the low hanging fruit? What are the things that you know about that you haven't done that will get you moving in the direction of achieving this 5 year target, whatever that looks like for you? And then what else can you do that you may need a little bit of runway to get it set up, started? Maybe it's a capability that you don't have. Maybe it's a team member that you don't have that you need. You might need a little bit more time to develop that. So those are those items. And once you stack these on top of each other, so you got your quick wins, your low hanging fruit, and then the longer term initiatives, those are the building blocks that are going to get you to your goal. And these are just some examples of how you can define those building blocks. What you want to do is, define the building block as an initiative, size it up. What does it mean for your business? What is it going to do to your numbers? And then once you have that, then you would start to implement it. And that's where it gets into implementation and working the plan. Like, the plan's great and it guides you, but if you're not going to do anything with that plan, it's pretty much useless. So pillar three, and going back to kind of the overarching, like, taking action here, like, you're not just going to execute that plan and basically move ahead with your head down at all costs. What you want to do is you want to execute against those initiatives, see how they're working, see what's working, what's not, so that you can learn and adjust as you're moving through your 5 year plan, right? You want to identify what's working well. Okay, if it's working well, can we do more of it? Can we do it faster? And what's working not so well, okay, this maybe isn't what we thought it was going to be when we put the plan together. Is there adjustments that need to be made? Are there, or do we need to stop doing it altogether? It allows you to take those considerations and make adjustments to your plan on the fly. Your plan isn't a one and done. It should be a living document that is updated periodically. I would say on a quarterly basis at a minimum. So turning your plan, your 5 year plan, you take that year one, and that becomes your operating plan, your annual budget for that year. And then based on what you're trying to achieve with those initiatives, those building blocks, you want to define what are the KPIs or the key performance indicators that will help you determine how well something's working and how fast things are working so that you can get the feedback that you need on the actions that you're taking in your business. And then, like I said, you want to review everything on a quarterly basis, evaluate your progress against a plan, all the initiatives, how are they working, what are the results I'm getting, what adjustments do I need to make. Again, the earlier you can learn stuff, you can make adjustments, which will help get you to that 5 year target faster and hopefully in under 5 years.
And I think it's saying here that might be appropriate is what is measured can be managed.
Exactly. Yeah, that's another great saying that really fits well here. And then looking at the quarterly review, like, yes, what happened? Why did it happen? What do we need to change? What's working, and let's do more of it and accelerate it, and double down. Now the three pillars, obviously the pillar one, the numbers, that is the foundation. Pillar two provides the direction for the business. All of your actions, when you have that plan, need to be viewed through the lens of this plan. Like, if it's not in the plan and you're doing it, you need to ask yourself, why am I doing this? If it's not contributing to the achievement of that plan, it may need to be evaluated to stop doing stuff like that. And then working the plan, evaluating it, reviewing it. What do you need to change? What do you need to do? Going faster. So again, just in summary of what we covered, the three pillars: growing your business, improving your profitability, and it's really about action. It's driving the right actions that you can take in your business to achieve the outcome that you are trying to achieve. So if you want this built for your business, or you want to talk about this process in more detail, we're happy to do that. Just book a free 30-minute call. All you have to do is go to go.ascendfts.com/calendar. It's a forward slash, right? Not a backslash.
That is right. It is forward.
See, I got it. So
You did.
just go there. That'll take you right to the calendar. You can book a call. There's no like big button you have to click on. It'll take you right to the spot you need to. So I think that wraps up what we wanted to cover this week. I think next week we will do a little bit of a deeper dive into pillar one, and then in the weeks coming up we'll dive into each pillar a little bit more deep.
Excellent. Looking forward to it.
All right. Anything else before we sign off there, broski?
I think you got it all.
All right. Well,
All right.
thank you, and we'll see you next week.